in the current day and time, there's a rising need to continuously equip your teachers to the changing educational needs as would be required in the different fields of man's endeavor. Let's say we decided to develop a self-paced app, more like a self-paced training app that exposes, maybe an organization engages us to say, let's develop this application that helps a university, for instance, developed this particular app that says, let's have this application that helps our lecturers take courses, expose themselves to critical areas of their field, and then gain certifications for free. So this application, we then got to delivering this application. A project team is set up. Okay, that the idea is to have these lecturers engage in upskilling by interacting with this app. By that idea alone, it's a high-level idea that we have, right? Now, to go further into the details, a project team needs to be set up, comprising of a project manager, a business analyst, a project manager who could be a project coordinator in this context, and then a business analyst, and then we would have what we call a solution architect, and then a developer, a software developer, as well as a software tester, of course, could be there, and maybe a principal consultant. This team could go into the requirement gathering phase. Requirement gathering phase is critical of this particular journey, because that's where the business analyst will do due diligence, identifying what is to be done, engaging these lecturers, what are the areas of your skills, and they are telling them, I teach microbiology, I teach project management, I teach chemistry, I teach physics, I'm a professor of this, that, and you are engaging. So you're taking an account of what they do and how they want to interact with this application, because it's one thing to have an idea of building an application, and it's another thing to build an application that they would not embrace. Users will kick back. So it's the job of a business analyst to do due diligence, engaging them, and building an application that meets their need. Now, see where the uncertainty lies. Do you know if you engage these users and eventually you build an application that is not user-friendly, do you know they may eventually kick back on this solution and say that they are not available, or that they are not able to utilize it, and that would have been a waste of public fund, university fund, a waste of the resources, a waste of time, the project's time, because imagine a project after having launched, the project is not embraced or is not being accepted by the users. That would be a total waste of time and resources. So the uncertainty element is always there, and that's why we must consistently ask ourselves, what are the risks? What are the issues that could potentially crop up? We refer to issues that could potentially crop up as risks. Okay, so before we deliver the project, we are anticipating issues. We are thinking about what could go wrong. Those are uncertainties. Definitely, I just mentioned a group of team members, from the project coordinator, the business analyst, to the principal consultant, the developer, the solution architect, that will go into requirement gathering to understand what the users want. That team is called cross-functional team, because this team is comprised of professionals in different fields of their professions. One is a business analyst who understands the art of asking questions, who understands how to query the unknown, who understands how to go into the unknown and how to identify, gold from the unknown. Then you have a project manager whose job is to coordinate the team, who sets up meetings, who ensures that, if there are clarifications to be provided, that those relevant stakeholders get the information and the escalation, all the different interactions between these team members are managed by the project manager. And he or she also manage them, manage, is a people manager, because he or she also must understand management from the perspective of conflict resolution and all the different dynamics that relate to human relationship. So you have a project manager who is a professional in that space. You have a principal consultant who again is most likely the one who must have gotten the contract, who must have pitched to the client, oh, you need this. I have identified that there's a problem in your organization. You need to employ this. You need to develop an app that will help your university lecturers to get the skills. So they can take courses from Harvard, they can take courses from, Ivy League universities, just within their whatever location, whatever space they are located. So you do not have to now spend extra monies to send your lecturers to the UK or to the US for courses. You just have to have them take these courses on the app. So you see, the university is buying into this because it is going to reduce their cost spendings. It's going to reduce their cost of more like the expenditure in terms of equipping these guys, and yet they are getting the same value for what the app would do. Okay, so the principal consultant would have done that in that context, getting this contract. So you see that it's a dynamic cross-functional team that would typically be working round the clock to see that at the end of the day, everyone and everybody is sorted. Okay, so this cross-functional team, like I've explained, revolves around the different professionals who will be involved in project delivery. And now you have change. Change. What do I mean by change? Change. This project that we just brought up is about introducing change. This project is aimed at bringing up an application that never existed. So it's a new way of equipping your lecturers. It's a new way of working. If I put it that way, it's a new way of work. Because in the first place, this university did not have an application, but because of this project, we are now going to have an application. So it is definitely introducing change. And then the temporary nature is about time of delivery. So that the university had agreed for this application to be rolled out doesn't mean that they would wait endlessly to get the output. No, they would say, oh, they need this, say, first quarter 2027, between now and 2028, they should have this application up and running. They should have all the integrations with the different universities of choice. They should have everything sorted, basically. So there is going to be time for delivering this project. So that's where the temporary nature comes in. So from the analogy, you would find that temporary change, unique, because it is introducing something new by the change, cross-functional and uncertainty. You can't escape this concept when talking about project management. So you would always find this concept. In fact, they are the critical characteristics of a project as we have it.